They have their own, designated account for it.
For the Sioux County Award?
Yes.
That's Lynn, like that.
Yeah, it's been taken out of our hands.
Okay.
Yeah, well, one, I'm kind of Laura, I don't quite understand. I thought this was a chamber event, and the chamber specifically now has a designated event coordinator, who I thought would have been dealing with this, but apparently not. But my suggestion, I realize we can't do anything for May, but I appreciate your willingness to be the liaison here. But I feel like we need to probably draft something in writing about what the procedures or what the timeline's gonna be.
Yeah.
So that we can review that and maybe get that approved, so that, like I said, not in time for May, but going forward, we have something in writing as to what the agenda for the day is gonna be. And that way we can share it with the people who are coordinating, the actors and so forth, so that everybody understands what the plan is, what the agenda is, and who's responsible for what. We need to have something drafted in some type of written form, I think.
My suggestion would be, since Sarah's offered to be the liaison, that we allow her to do that this time, encourage her to do that, beg her to do that, if she would. And then prepare that for future events. And I think that's what she, that's what I don't want to miss the May of the year.
Right, and I was making that suggestion as for going forward. I realize we don't have time for May because we won't meet again until after the event.
We reach third Tuesday.
Yeah, but going forward, definitely help if we had something in writing. We're very thankful for any help.
It'll probably be around 1 o'clock. That's normally when everything is,
Okay.
we're settled after about 1 o'clock is when, so the closure will be from 1,
But you will make that with the chief.
Yes, so would we be allowed to close the square if the chief says it's okay?
we have to,
For what how long is it gonna take them to set up?
Well, see what it is, really the actual shootout is probably, they do 2 of them and they're around 15, 20 minutes. They have a skit that they do.
Right.
And so there's really, the setup has already been done. They have their wagons and stuff. It's just the 2 cowboy groups coming together and doing their shootout. So
But when was they set that up, Sarah? Because of course, wasn't there some confusion last year, set it up on Friday night?
yes, so
Friday
that's,
afternoon?
yeah, that's what I was saying. We need to establish with them, if you are in fact gonna come and do some stuff on Friday night, it has to be after the shops have closed.
where they were setting up was at the square and taking those parking spots right there. That's the thing, they were taking all of those and the gazebo, that's what they set up.
Are you talking about the gazebo and the parking spots between the gazebo and the?
Yeah, and then they had a shootout on the street, and that takes roughly about an hour.
And we need to figure out where they're going to store their things.
You don't want to keep them in that area?
It's not up to me. That their equipment is stored in where we used to have, where now they're doing the oil changes. And then it got shoved over to where the Christmas wreaths were, and that got to be a mess. And not maintained properly. And they should stay, and Mike Stoffel wrote an elegant article about the history and the awareness and all the good things that they had done for us. But that changing of that use of that space threw them into chaos as far as where to store their props. And they need a designated place. Now we pulled our wreaths out of there, put it in this box back here behind with our, whatever it's called. And that's neat and tidy. We're gonna bring the gazebo surround that is set for Christmas over and store it in that container. But those guys don't have a designated area that's under the authority of anybody in the city to maintain their props.
Can you coordinate that on a short-term basis this time?
Yes.
And let that be part of the procedure, and where it's gonna be stored in the future?
Okay, so just be clear, I'm telling them that if they are gonna set up on Friday, it has to be after business hours. And that if I coordinate it with the chief again, that 1 hour, 90 minutes after the train comes.
Yeah.
Okay,
That'll work.
thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking an interest. That is a good event.
Yeah.
and it serves a good purpose for scholarship. And for a good lady, very fine lady on our city council. I believe, time goes to memory, but I believe she was the first lady councilman. She or Jan Jewell, or maybe they were at the same time, but first ladies on the council. And then they paved the way for two fine ladies now. Okay.
Like that's question, who's, has the authority to tell people where to sow this stuff?
Well, that's what we're gonna have to work out.
So and so, who?
We're gonna have to work that out.
That's something we need to work out, nobody should have the authority to do it unless it's somebody we did.
That's correct. And I think what I just said was, ask Barry to do it this time and get it worked out. Then long term, we'll lay down some guidelines. And we may have to modify them from time to time as the city grows. Different people are involved. But I appreciate Sarah kind of taking the bull by the horns. Anybody else want to address this? All right, we'll move on then. Got some reports. Dale, you are first up tonight.
Okay.
On the sewer report.
Yeah, we did get the new pump and the pump station on Cornwall Avenue, and it's up and running now, and that's a good thing. Beyond that, I don't really have a lot for you tonight.
Okay. Anybody got any questions about it? It's good to know that they got on that pretty quick.
They did get
All
that
that
pretty quick,
information.
yeah. They did.
Okay. Anybody, questions, comments? All right. Thanks, Dave. All right, next will be the police report, and I believe we've got a very fine substitute tonight. Sergeant Caroline, is that correct? Yes, sir. All right, come on up and talk to us.
Good evening. Filling in for Chief Hagerly, yes, something popped up. As far as departmental resources, the only issue we've run across so far is the parking enrollment. Those two ladies that came by, we spoke to them yesterday, recommended they come by and speak to you guys so we can try to get the ball rolling as far as making it a citywide problem or exceptions for handicap and so on. Callers show up, warrants being served throughout the city almost daily. They're popping up more and more. No major issues on our end, so if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer that.
Question, comments?
Who wants to? You may have an answer to this, but are we fully staffed? Or do you know? I mean, I realize you're the chief, so
Yeah, I'll let Interlake answer that question.
I can follow up with him,
I
but
think he would better answer that question for you.
I'm just doing some quick math in my head and trying to think some names. We may be one short, but I'm not sure.
I knew we had some changes, that's some of the reason I was asking.
Okay.
You've been directing traffic in the ordinance in front of the high school.
Yes, ma'am.
You're doing a fine job, thank you. It is running smoother than it has rained out a while, and I appreciate that.
We're trying.
I
It's
appreciate
not
it.
most fun part of the day, but
No, it's not.
it's,
I do have a question unrelated to that, though. I'm glad you said that because they do a good job running traffic here. But, all the police brothers we had in the yard sale,
yes, sir.
are we being reimbursed for that? Do y'all get paid directly by the,
To my knowledge, Interlake receives a check, I'm not sure from who, and then that check gets cashed and then the officers get paid.
okay, so it's not coming through our city budget because otherwise it
No, sir. They don't come where.
causes us to be out of line?
Yeah, it changes.
Okay.
Conversation I had with Chief Hinderley, week and a half ago, he indicated that any overtime of our officers was being reimbursed by the chamber, or supplied, paid by the chamber.
All right, so that raises an issue. If we're showing it as overtime when you got your checks, then the money's got to come through the city. If he's paying y'all on the side, for lack of a better term, there's nothing wrong with that. Then it doesn't have to come through.
Well, his indication to me was that the extra personnel was being covered by the chamber, not city funds.
Okay, they've done that in the past, and And I've gotten so used to it, I just didn't ask, so glad to appreciate that. Any other questions, comments? Let's see, you're getting close to the end on school traffic.
It's coming up.
It's about 28 days.
When's the last day of school? That doesn't sound no.
23rd is the last day of school with students. Yes, I think there's 4 Fridays left to 2 4-day weeks.
And we would not have that. And we would not.
Graduation is the 23rd, the last day of school.
Okay, so we won't be bumping up against it with our council. Okay.
Get there.
Yes.
It's almost.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Thank you guys for.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, who's your, I didn't see you back there. You sitting back there with all the law, I didn't see you, man.
Well, in March, this past month, carried along on track pretty much with March of the previous year, so kind of keeping the same calls every year. Have 49, 19 of those are in the city and 30 in the county. As I've said before, kind of with some of the new policies and the calls that we're responding to, that is trending more into a level area where it was, we were very much in the county before, and now it's kind of leveling off to where we really only went out when we're needed, things like that. So, keeping our resources here in the city, taking care of that. Outside of that, I don't have anything unless you don't have any questions.
Oh, your equipment good?
Yes, sir.
What about your staff, you full?
We are.
That's amazing.
We've got a couple that are getting ready to begin their recruit class. Kind of been holding off a little bit to see if we could find 1 or 2 more to add to it. To kind of make it worth doing a full class for us.
Sure.
We're getting them rolling pretty soon.
I appreciate your guys singing over at the 9 on yard sale and helping with anything that was needed. No, they didn't have to do that, but tell them thank you from us.
Absolutely.
We're gonna replace the vehicle, right?
Sorry?
We're gonna replace the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And it works like good.
Yes, sir. Everything's going well. It's a 2016 Dodge 1500. We've not had any issues out of it. Hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody good? Appreciate what you're doing, hope you don't have any fires.
yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, let me go through some items of business. I don't have a lot tonight, but what I have is pretty significant. Let me start with the report on the current projects. I'm going to go to water first. I met today with, I met today with Matthew Rye Engineering, who's doing our water loss study. Steve Jones of Water Management, who's architect, consultant, whatever. And J.C. York, who's one of our kind of the lead city water operators. We are going to undergo this summer the work on the tank, and that it's got to be done, but it's scary. So let me tell you what I know about it. And Steve is proposing to advertise this for bids on April 24th. He's going to open bids on May 20, which is the day of our council meeting at 10 a.m. I asked him would he be able to analyze the bids to tell us who the low bidder is and be here that night, and he said he would. But he also mentioned he may back May 20 back to May 19, give you another day. But either way, we should have that to vote on at our May meeting. The project, when it begins, will have a window of 45 days to complete. And his goal was to have the project completed by the end of July. Now, here's the part that scares me, and probably it's going to scare everybody here, and maybe I just scared too easy. While this project's being worked upon, the tank will have to be drained, And Steve and JC have worked out an alternative system that will keep water flowing. In other words, what we're pumping will be in the lines, we'll be able to do what we're doing. We just won't have storage capacity, because that tank's gonna be drained, they're gonna work on the outside, and it has to be drained on the inside. We have an understanding with Chris Roper, of the Wilson County Water Authority. I've not independently verified this, but JC told me this morning, I have no reason not to believe that he can, should we have a fire, which is the thing that concerns me, he can provide us 220,000 gallons of water per day, which is about an average of what we use. Although some days we use 270, 280,000, other days 150,000. If he should have a fire out in his area, then that might reduce to 180,000 gallons per day. Now, when you go to bed at night and say your prayers, if we do this, we're gonna have a fire. I don't want a fire anyway. Now, the other thing is, if we have to, if Chris tells us he has to go to 180,000 gallons a day, we may have to ask people to conserve water, maybe cut their usage by 20% or so for 45 days. Now, you know, sometimes things are good and there's always a bad part to it. We have to ask people to conserve water. They're not using as much water, and the revenues to fund the water and sewer fund are not as much. So it all builds on each other. What I'm hopeful for, and I don't want to wish my life away or yours, on July 31st, everything's done, everything's been done safely, and we're back to doing something. Now, I've got a question for you, and I thought you might know, because I don't know. You used to work at WC years ago. The old tank that was there, that set up on the stilts about 40 feet high, was that a city tank or was that Stevens for their fire suppression in that building?
WC, they had, removed our focus there.
Well, that's what I thought, but I don't remember what happened to it. And then they closed down in 85 or 86, and they took the tower with them. Okay. You know, those people during graduation, the guys would climb that tower and write their name on it or whatever, when they're supposed to do it. And, John Deere Green that too. So, John Deere Green that too? Yes. And sometimes they write things up there they shouldn't. But, we were talking about that today and I couldn't remember. I don't remember the city doing anything with it, so it had to be WC. That's got nothing to do with what we're doing here, but you just answered my question and I'll pass that along. This project is still estimated to be an $899,000 project. We've got a grant for $699,000 and we're on the hook for $200,000 and we do that for the road. So, this is going to pick up and start rolling and let's see, today's April 15. And what, 105 days, this project should be able to fund June, July, and so hopefully we'll do it safely. It's got to be done. We're under an order from the state to do it. So it's not something we're doing voluntarily. So just wanted to put that little piece of news on you. And here comes the other piece of good news. I met yesterday with the guy that's doing our water rate studies, Bob Adams. I've been saying for 2 years, and we've been saying for 2 years, we're going to have to have a significant water and sewer rate increase to pay for this $5.3 million project, also mandated by the state. We're not doing anything we want to do. And he's working on some final figures. I'm not ready to give you those to you tonight because we're not quite there, but I will tell you that it looks like the proposal is going to be even more significant than what I thought it was. So I'm just prepared to do it. Now, here's what I need to do. When we leave tonight, I need to recess this meeting to either the 23rd of April or the 30th of April. That's a Wednesday night, and I know that's not a good night, but I'm trying to coordinate everybody's schedule, including Mr. Adams. And he will come and visit with us and explain how he got to his numbers, what he's done. He's done a very thorough job. He will come and explain that. We'll have a work session that night. Anybody's welcome to attend, but the only people that are going to participate in it will be this council, myself, and Mr. Adams. Once we have that work session, there won't be any vote that night. We'll probably continue that again until maybe early May, where there will be a vote, because we've got to pass it on 2 readings. But when we get ready to vote, of course, the public will be here and they'll be allowed to comment at that time. But we need to get our arms around this. This is the single biggest expenditure that this city's ever had. And 5.3 million, and then you add the 900,000, basically good, we're at 6.2 million. And I don't really remember Watertown spending that kind of money. But we got to. So, before we leave here tonight, maybe now's the time to talk about it. Caleb told me that he could do the 23rd or the 30th. Is there a night that's better for y'all? I'd like for everybody to be here so you can hear. You good with either one?
I'll available vote.
Okay. You okay, Laura?
Yes, sir.
Michelle?
Yeah, I think so. I think the 30th would be best, but it would be too.
Well, we can do the 30th, and he'll probably appreciate that, give him a little more time.
Okay.
So if y'all are all right with that, we'll do the April 30th. So tonight, when y'all make your motion to adjourn, don't let me just walk right on, say second, and all in favor say aye, because we don't need to adjourn. We need to recess for a work session
At 6 o'clock?
at 6 o'clock, unless y'all want to do earlier. Okay, 6 o'clock. All right, you make me a note. Okay, no news on the street paving, of course, until we get the sewer project done. Sewer project is, we talked about it briefly this morning, it's on time, and it's within the budget. But we knew when we started this, it was gonna be about a 12 to 15 month project. I think we're in month 9, so, it's on time. Steve? Yeah, they have. Steve told me this morning, no concerns about the time-wise. And then, the only other thing I'll report to you on is the turntable. We were scheduled to have our second meeting with the Washington folks the day after tomorrow. There's some confusion about whether or not that's gonna be held or not, and we're trying to confirm that. We've got an email saying it was canceled for Thursday, but then we looked, and it was under the byline of the March meeting. This is April, so we're trying to find out.
You're not seeing any problem though. I know it's 2 months ago, we were kind of concerned maybe with some grants. Are you feeling better about that?
I do, but every time I get something like this, it's scary.
Yeah.
But I have no reason to believe there's anything sinister going on. But anyway, as soon as we find that out, we'll let you know for sure. Those are the big things. I got some things here that probably were still interesting to people and us. Jessica was not able to get our budget report done this time. We'll be out to you in a day or two. What'd she say, April? Another couple of days?
Yeah, a few more days.
What?
A few more days.
Okay. It's tax season for them. April 15th, so. But if you need to look at where we are, look at your March 31st report. That is the actual 9-month, part of our budget. So, but we'll have that as soon as it comes in, we'll get that out to you. Steve Casey and I, Steve, I understand you went up there last week thinking they had a meeting.
Yeah, unfortunately, but that got canceled.
Well, I know they're
I'm assuming the county thought you were gonna tell me, and
well, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm sure, I went up there today, we had a meeting, and we didn't. So, I'm told now it's next Tuesday,
I have it as the 22nd, at 1.
next Tuesday at 1. So, we don't have anything to report, but I thought I'd have a little fun with Steve. I went, I even skipped lunch waiting on that. That's a major thing for me. I have something I've been asked to read to you here. And I will do that now. This is addressed to me, it's concerning the resignation. Please accept this letter of my formal resignation as city clerk from the city of Watertown. My last day will be April 9, 2025. I want to express my appreciation for the opportunity that I have had to work for the city of Watertown over these past 10 years. I have learned so much regarding the inner workings of the city government, while also having the opportunity to meet so many members of the Watertown community. Ending my working career at this time was not in my original plans, but I am very fortunate to have this opportunity because of a very supportive spouse. I will finish up my current assignments and help in any other way that you may need over these next 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks of August have passed. Sincerely, Lisa Banks. So, Lisa's been with us for 10 years, done an excellent job. And I hate to see her go, but this is her decision. And, I have to tell you that I tried 3 or 4 times to talk her out of it, and it didn't work. So, and I confirmed this morning that she wanted to revisit, she said yes. So I did that. It doesn't require any action on our part. 15, water and sewer rate discussion, set the work session, we've already done that. I'm assuming the mile long yard sale went okay. Did y'all have anybody have any complaints?
Yes,
Did Jessica want? Okay.
there was a strong odor on the square. At some point, had a few people on the train, they mentioned about the smell on the square, some cannabis type smell,
Oh,
and that was an issue.
very bad way of saying somebody smoking dope.
Yes, sir. And there were 2 times, I was working outside on the square, and there were 2 times that I could guess, but 2 was, it like turned my stomach. It was so strong. And I don't know where it was coming from. I was at the corner there at the Modern Revival across from the bank. It could have been somebody on the train, I'm not gonna speculate where, but it was very strong.
Well,
And that's not the look we want. I mean, that's not the
No, it's not.
representation we want for our town.
and I was on the square part of the time, told me the odor I smelled was that guy cooking shish kebab.
And that's not now, of course.
It smelled good. But, okay, well, the chief's heard that, so.
I have a couple of issues. I talked to the police on the square twice. We had cars going both ways,
Mhm.
and they weren't just so local. And, our agreement here was one way. And, everyone who's putting the yard sale on needs somebody out there seeing what's going on and taking care of it. We had people set up on the sidewalks and people had to get out the street and walk around. And then we didn't try to get up. Just sit in the chair right in the middle of the sidewalk. And I think that's some issues that we need to take care of. I don't know who's, I've done far out, I guess, but I don't know who to talk to. But whoever who's in charge of the yard sale needs to designate somebody, like Jim used to do, getting a golf cart and cover the city of Watertown, make sure everything is.
Now, they have a paid position that is the events coordinator that puts that is in charge
I
of.
don't believe that somebody's talking.
But there's some kind of members here that can,
I can pass that along.
Okay, thank you.
We just need we need a little bit more safety than what we're getting right now.
now I do know on the cop situation, there were some cars on the square, but what happened was there was a wreck, so the person down by the Mexican place, the cop had to leave. It only left the cop at the bank, and he couldn't leave his post. So when I went over to speak with him, he said, "You please go put those barrels up." So I went and put the barrels up down there by the Mexican place, and then there were no more cars then. So that was fine, and that was just something that couldn't help. There were some complaints on that, but it got taken care of, and it was kind of just beyond our control on that.
Let me say something to address what you just said. I have spoken with the president of the chamber, and we are coordinate that to make sure that those issues do not occur for the fall mile on yourself.
I appreciate that. I think it's something that we need to make the people safe.
Yes.
It's a lot of people here Saturday.
It was a big crowd, and it's a big crowd we met.
But, that was the only thing I saw that was going there, so I thought we needed to work on it. I wish we had more food, we didn't have enough food trucks and stuff. And people asking where food was at, and we just didn't have a very big.
We'll pass that on to
I think that would be
I think the prices did go up on the food trucks and the vendors, but we're gonna revisit that for the fall one.
and it seemed like everything went pretty good except for just some minor things that we can take care of.
No issues that we can't take care of for the fall.
What you're talking about, smell, sounds like, it
She
went
can
pretty
take
good.
care of that.
It was a lot better than something.
I was sitting in a very good spot.
Yeah, well,
Good or bad. She ended up.
Yeah, we should have. They got an organization set up now.
We can all hash this out together, maybe, some sort of.
Yeah,
That's what we brought up in our meeting today.
Yeah, we had an executive meeting today, so we'll pass on any information you guys got to him, and I think that would be
That would be
the best.
great, it's never really.
Well, perhaps we can make that meeting also part of the discussing parking on the square. And, maybe we just need to have everybody come in for a work session. But what you said about the, executive committee kind of helps me move into the next thing I have on the list, and that is our 4th of July fireworks. It's still on for, believe it or not, 4th of July. But the proposal we've got this time has increased $600. We paid $4,900 this current year. Next year will be $5,500. We've already split that with the chamber. So our part will be $2,750. And Brian Wilson sent me an email that said y'all will discuss that in your executive.
Yeah.
Everybody was okay with your $2,750, but your membership has.
Yes, that's correct. Well, next meeting.
We
Yeah,
won't have, whether they do it or not, we won't have a problem.
it was voted last year that 1,500 was the max we were gonna give. But Brian, we agreed, we've gone over the budget today, we've saved some, and Brian does want to give the full amount, that you've asked for, but we have to come to a vote.
Well, one of the things, and I don't say I don't get into politics, right here is politics. One of the things that bothers me about the fireworks increasing is the fact that all the discussion of tariffs and things gonna go up, people are gonna take advantage of that, whether the tariffs are effective or not. And an increase of $600 when the fireworks can be bought over here at Dunlap. They're not coming from China or from anywhere else. But you have to pay what you have to pay. So, but anyway, we will include our part in next year's budget because we've already paid it this year.
Question for you going forward, is that fireworks just the same vendor we've had in the past? or-
It is, but the guy that did it has passed on. And April is his wife or his son. that's- Daughter. Okay, I had a chance when I was reading it. But, and then they had to put together a couple of shooters, cause, you have to have a license to do that, obviously. Correct. And so they've got two, you know, at this time, but both of them are first time shooters, so I'll ask Chief and Chief Hong, they keep a pretty good eye on that, the parking engine, they're pretty close. In case we have a fire break out or whatever, so I'll ask these guys to keep pretty close eye.
That's the area our foreman, right?
That's why I was fixing to ask about the water situation, because the weather's really dry.
Well, we may do a lot more standing out of our feet than we do before. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't have a problem. I don't remember us ever having a problem one time. And it was extremely dry and we debated whether or not we should have it. It's one of the events that the community really looks forward to. And you don't have to go to Nashville or 11 and get tied down. So,
Well, my question was, should we consider going forward, looking at other vendors, putting it up for a bid or something, just to see if we can find something competitive?
maybe, you know, Steve, I kind of done just informally over the years, ask people, what do you pay for your fireworks when it goes on? Weird deal, dollar cheap. Well, and now ours don't last an hour, they don't last 45 minutes, they do last about 18 to 20 minutes. And to pitch $500, that's not bad.
Right, I mean, and that may be the case, I just didn't know if we had looked at it from that perspective, because I have no basis upon which to determine if that's a good price or a bad price.
And I don't have any basis to say there's not somebody out there that can do it cheap, but frankly, I'd be surprised if they weren't knocking down the door trying to do it. So, let me mention one other thing to you, during the, tornado warning that came out on Saturday night, I think a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it Saturday, that we had whatever night it was, they kept us up all night.
It was Saturday.
It was
During the week.
Well, I had somebody ask about the tornado siren and said, we really need another one, and I thought, yeah, we do. So, I sent the word out to the legal folks, and they reminded me we do have two tornado sirens. We have one on the middle school and one on the high school. So, and he did tell me they are cranked up as loud as they'll go. So a lot of that depends on which way the wind's blowing.
They wouldn't be good.
Well, I heard it all right, but the guy that lived about a quarter mile from me on the other side of the hill said he didn't. But the hill may have blocked his
What
something
about
sound.
the elementary school area? I mean,
We hear it at our house.
y'all do, okay.
I barely heard it at my house.
Well, I was about ready to fuss at them for just having one, and they reminded me we had two.
But there was one at the high school, I should have heard that one really good, but
And you could hear both
Did
of
both
them.
of
You
them
stepped
go
outside, yes, ma'am.
that was.
You could hear both of them because they weren't synced together.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I heard it, but it was very, I mean, if I'd have been asleep, I probably would have heard it. I happened to be up.
oh,
That's not straight, but
I mean, I feel like straight.
Well, I don't get up at my house with the siren, but my son and daughter-in-law, 14-month-old grandson live with us now, and they woke up. And my wife came in there at 3 o'clock, and I was asleep. She said, the siren's going off. As far as I was concerned, it was.
You know, I know about that, but I got woken up and told, you need to get up.
So I stayed up a couple hours. Regretted it. Couple of informational items.
wait, back on that.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So, who is in charge of telling, like, sending that signal for them to
Comes
go?
out of the WEMA office in Lebanon.
Because, the only reason I ask is, It went off at 3 something in the morning. And then it went off again about 9:30 in the morning. We actually were in a straight line, they said our name on the TV about 4:30, nothing ever went off then.
Right. And it didn't go off on the phones either.
No.
It was one way.
At 4:30, nothing
Yeah.
happened. It was only hitting the tip of Watertown, actually went through like DeKalb. But we are considered Wilson County.
Yeah.
And so that just kind of concerned me.
Yeah.
That I was up watching it, we were in the direct line, and nothing was going on.
And this was 9:30 in the morning?
No, so that was about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Now, the other two was gonna hit the northern end, and it went off here for that end.
Mhm.
So that just concerned me, like, if it's gonna hit any part of Wilson County, even if we just turn it on for whatever part it's gonna hit.
I'll try to get you an answer. But if you want to explore that yourself, you gotta talk to Marty Heckman. That's what Marty Heckman, Heckman. Good thought. And he'll give you those answers. You got right back to me with them on that. Okay, a couple of informational items. We've already mentioned our next regular meeting will be May 20th, 6 o'clock. And if you've got something out there that you want put on the agenda, please let me know. I put the agenda out on the Friday before the Tuesday meeting. By state law, it's required to be out 48 hours in advance. 48 hours will be Sunday, and I don't want to be doing it on Sunday, so I'll do it on Friday. And then this Saturday, we have a big day here in the park, the Easter extravaganza. I understand we have 10,000 eggs.
Right about 12,000.
12,000.
Very big event.
And there'll be other things going on here with
We're
restaurants.
gonna get, so, around the Baptist Church, they joined with the chamber, so, it's gonna be a wonderful event. We're gonna have, inflatables, games, face painting, because of the time too, we're not necessarily serving lunch, but there will be like, cookies and drinks as well.
Okay. Anyway, that's this Saturday at 2 o'clock. And I'm fairly certain to be over with it before midnight. Okay, that's all I've got. I'll start down on the table here with Pat.
I want to bring up the deal about where we got a letter about these tablets. What we need to take care of that.
I sent that to the chief and also to the, building inspector for the county. You know, we contract with them, at least at this point in time. So they're both aware of what's been done out of those specific.
So we're just gonna let them handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. What else you got? Steve?
Don't know everything, but I'll give an update on the old city hall.
Yeah.
Spoke with Darrell Emerson on Sunday, and the roofing contractor was supposed to get started this week. They finished the brickwork. He was hoping, they were doing a church somewhere, they were hoping to get up here to tear the roof off and get the new one installed either this week or next week.
Okay. All right.
And we have somebody on
Yeah, there was a comment asking who resigned, they couldn't hear it.
Lisa Baines.
Lisa Bangs?
Lisa Baines.
Bangs?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But, like I said, Gerald said he hoped to be done, I think, completely done up there in the next 2 weeks, if we have good weather.
Good. All right, that's very good. April will have to do a check on that, and it reminds me of regression back to talking to, Ryan this morning. He's gonna send me an updated bill on what he's done so far. I encourage him to do that, because he's been working for a while, and we haven't paid him yet. Did I hear it? Ms. Laura?
First, since our last meeting, you had a birthday, so happy birthday.
I did, thank you.
Yes,
I'm at that age where I'm glad to have him.
Sorry about your mother-in-law.
Well, I appreciate that.
So we addressed the issue of the square smell. That was one of mine. I also received an email. Last year, we had, a husband and wife came and was talking about the ballpark
Mm-hmm.
and about the restrooms not having adequate like paper towels and toilet paper and all that. And I know that it's not radiators.
Sound club.
Thank you. I wrote in that so much in my life, I should remember. But they bring their own and furnish it and then take it home. So what are we doing for the ballpark? Do we kind of do that too? Does Jeff put
We
everything
stock
out?
it, but now people will take it.
But do we put it out for that night and then take it away and
No,
put it
I
out?
don't think we're doing that.
So we just started, because of some people, some things that would disappear, is my guys, or the police officers at night, lock it up at night, and then they can unlock it during the day.
What is it with the bridge? I know that was an issue last year when they came. We were gonna look into that. They were talking about it still unstable.
I drive the mower across it every other day, so.
I was over here one day this week, believe it or not, walking across.
Yeah, the guy that's over the ballpark
Yeah.
stuff right now, he
Mr.
actually, yes ma'am, he actually went himself and pressure washed the whole entire thing. He's gonna get it stained and sealed, and that's on him, but it is stable enough. I'm 250 pounds and I drive the mower across it, yes. So,
Said that there was a piece of playground equipment that had a rusted metal piece on it.
Is that the one that had the seat?
yes, they,
That's the one you tore off.
yes,
several
sir,
months
yes,
ago.
and we fixed it to the best of our ability, but where they had broke it, there's no other way to fix it but put that metal plate on there. Unless we got another seat, I don't know how much that thing costs, so.
I think the problem was we couldn't find the seat.
That's what Bob was
Yes.
saying. Right.
And what we put on there, we actually took and ground all the sides down and everything. It is rusty, but even if I was to put a coat of paint on it, I don't want it to rub off on a kid or individual that goes over there, so.
Boy, if you get that phone out, I know we're in trouble.
We get lots of emails. I don't know about you guys, but I do. So,
Maybe he's the designated email.
I don't know. I'm not the, what do you call, where are you now? You're the vice mayor. It needs to go. I'm just kidding. Wilson Baby Trucks, I know at one point in time we talked about them helping with the sign. Putting the sign up at one of the baseball fields, like a
They done.
scoreboard.
They
They did that.
did that.
Okay.
Yeah, all the
That's
lights
on
were,
there.
on the scoreboard. Long term, we need some work on our lights on the park.
Right. And I know we have talked about that with the horse and working through all of that. Student workers, how would you, the city feel? We have opportunity, our students are willing to work, they can work 5 to 10 hours a week.
Okay,
So I work with the work-based learning part of that program.
okay,
So if we're ever needing anyone, filing papers, mowing, they can work during the summer now, the state just passed that. So we can hire them at minimum wage if we wanted to, and they get high school credit for that, even during the summer. So they get 1 credit for 5 hours, 2 credits for 10 hours, they keep paying more than 10.
but they work 10 hours a week,
Yes.
all right? We had a young man work here for about 18 months, and he was an excellent employee. I hated to lose him. I don't have any problems with working these young people. And the ones we've had here have been very responsible. And I still count him as a young person. I coached him when he was a kid, so he's still a kid. Okay, we need to talk about that. And I have some opportunities on it.
Good. So I'll start reaching out.
Is that boys and girls?
I can get both.
Okay.
And then the last thing is the train, when they come in, you brought up the concern, or not concern, but you brought up that sometimes it falls here and sometimes it falls there. And then we talked about having all of us meeting. I do think that that needs to be addressed, because as we're growing and as we're getting trains and things, and getting the steam engine, We need to know who's in charge of which events and what's going on there. So there's no guessing in the communication of who's in charge, and communication to the business owners and to us of what's going on.
I feel better based on the emails I've gotten from here and Sarah and trying to talk tonight. I believe that they're trying to get the upper hand.
I do too. But just, I want it to be known that we want that too.
Yes.
Yes.
So we want to work with the council.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, and speaking of the trains, you know, maybe we could even hire somebody to go around and help with trash or something before and after the trains to get things cleaned up.
We could, that's one place we could use.
Could we use the high school kids for that?
We can, I know we have people right now that are sitting at the restroom house.
Yeah, they haven't showed up.
The one girl did not show up
Yeah, that's what I know. I mean, I haven't been there every day, I just about every
on the
day.
train days.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I haven't seen any student at all.
okay, 'cause we had a girl that had signed up, so I'll check on her.
Yeah. She did it this weekend at the Mile?
No,
Okay.
she did the other two in March. Or she said she did.
Hmm. I usually sign up, so,
All kidding aside, you have other things. Okay. All right. Yes, sir? Yes,
Say,
ma'am?
look, April has her time out too today.
Yeah, so I meant to ask you, and it's been a crazy year, so I have not brought it up. The Everbridge, how is that up and going, like, what's going on?
So, it is up and going.
Okay.
I've sent out emails and texts, and nobody responds. You did, and 3 of my guys did, because it was mandatory that they respond. But when I didn't hear back from people, I was like, well, and then I've sent like 30 alerts out to emails and texts for
Wow.
council,
Okay.
council, some cell phones, I know people will text that out. But if I don't get the feedback from the response, you know, like where you get it, because it just says you want to respond, and you push something, and it, on my end, it comes in and says confirm for that.
Yeah.
So that's a part of the process of testing all the
Yes,
settings.
there's a.
So last week, I sent out some on the day that as soon as the siren went off, when I was here, and, WEMA was actually tracking the tornado wall, came right through there, and they're following it, and I'm putting that out, email and text. Of course, you know, again, my guys responded, but the test base has to be, before I give it to the community, that, hey, yes, this is working. And that's why I kept putting up, hey, this is a test. And I get 1 or 2 that responded out of 30 texts.
That is crazy.
So, and then I put everybody's emails in, and then I got a few more responses. I know people are busy, but it's up and functional,
Okay,
100% up and functional.
okay. Well, okay, so you did send me an email a long time ago, like, do this, check this link. I did the link, got signed up and everything.
It must, you know, again, it could go to spam. I mean, it's not above that, but,
I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything.
and then that's a problem.
Remind me what the program's called.
Everbridge, it would be something, what you would think.
December the next one?
Nixle, yeah. Well, Everbridge owns Nixle. They did away with Nixle.
Okay.
Let the customers that had Nixle as Nixle, everything going forward is Everbridge. And I'll tell you, I'll send out several tests tomorrow to every council person, and then just respond or click on the thing if you get it.
Okay.
It shows me on my computer when you can respond or don't. You're not having to respond. Hey, Mike, you're the greatest chief ever. I wouldn't send it to you.
You said that to me.
No, I don't want to get reality. But yes, I'll do that tomorrow. So if you get it, please just hit it, you confirm.
Well, I did just, go on the app, and, it said text your zip to whatever, and I just did that, and it's, I guess, I don't know, maybe I.
You have to have the app in order to have gotten that?
No, I put your cell phone in there, whatever your cell phone number is, and it sends it to that from I think it's a 771, I think the number changes each time, but it'll say what it is.
Yeah.
It'll say Watertown PD, all one word,
Okay.
Watertown PD.
Yeah, would you try to, just say.
I definitely will, yes.
Thank you.
So 89361 last time I got it.
Okay,
So
yeah, maybe, yeah, 4-digit number.
It just comes up as a guy.
It's the same number every time? Okay.
It's just, it's gonna be a shorty number every time.
Yeah.
It'll be a full number, right?
So we need to, do we need to get them to check their phones at the door before next week?
Yes, please, sir.
So, in other words, if you get something from him, you're like, you just send it back, so. Yeah.
Okay, for that.
Good question, and seriously, while they're joking, because they said somebody's lying. Did it say they're lying? Okay. Well, I am too, because that's fair.
Or whatever.
Okay, hope it doesn't get that serious. Okay.
You can also save that number if you feel like you're more than a chief. Something to say.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm from a different generation now, so, you know, you need me, just call me. I'm gonna go back and revisit something quickly. We're having this, recess meeting on the 30th, and I need that night to deal with sewer. But I am very interested in having another work session soon to deal with the issues that Sarah and Trina were talking about, and the issues that we talked about, for the last couple of months on parking. We need to see how we can, deal with both of those and have a work session on that. The 2 weeks from tomorrow night, I've got to limit it to those things.
Could we send it out for the 23rd, since Caleb said he was available?
Well,
Or do you want to have one that quick?
I don't want to have them that quick. I don't want to get this over.
Out of the way.
This is way on me. Okay, you have something. Okay, everybody have a happy Easter. Fun days.
Recess?
Second?
There you go. Motion to recess on the 30th, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Now, have a happy Easter and until day.